Hey Canucks fans, I was thinking to myself, how would our Vancouver Canucks fare in the Stanley Cup Playoffs this year? Let's talk about it. I'm Canuck Clay. This is my Canucks take all in one take. It's Clay's Canucks commentary for Thursday, May the 5th. If you're new, here's what you should do. Hit the subscribe button now for daily Canucks insight that's positive, timely, and trustworthy. Want to get to the topic at hand in a second, but a couple really quick announcements. Firstly, thanks to everyone who joined me on my members live stream last night. A lot of fun. Solicited some really good feedback. I'm going to start to incorporate some of that feedback into my channel over the next few weeks, so I can't wait for all of you to see that. Speaking of my channel, brand new feature that got released for me. It's been there for other creators before, but today, starting today, you can actually leave a tip, or what they call it is a thanks, right on every video now. You don't have to wait for my live streams. You don't have to become a member. If you simply want to donate directly to me on one of my daily videos, you can do so right now. Just click on the thanks icon underneath the video, and you can give any amount you want, and you get to even put a comment and a message, and it'll be all bright and colorful, and I'll see it for sure, and I'll definitely reply to it for sure. So again, you don't have to. It's simply another way that you can support me on this channel. But I was pretty excited to see that today, that it got enabled for my Canuck Clay channel, is you can now leave me a tip or a thanks on any of my videos. So I'm not saying that you should or you have to, but if you want to, I certainly wouldn't decline or deny it. And maybe you want to be the first one ever to leave a tip or a thanks on one of my daily videos. So I'll leave that with you. There's one other thing I was going to say. Oh, yeah, I was going to say, I'm not sure if I said it in my video yesterday, but I'm pretty sure I have a very, very, very mild concussion, because there are a couple things yesterday that happened. I forgot a photocopy code at work, which I've never done before in 5 years. Like, I completely blanked out, actually. I saw stars after leading a prayer last night, and I just don't feel exactly right. So thanks for those that reach out to me. I tweeted about it. And my next hockey game isn't until Monday, so I should be okay. Although if I stutter or slur even more than usual, now you know why. Okay, let's get to the topic at hand. I, like you, am watching the NHL playoffs, and we're only 12 games in. 4 series, there we go, are at 2 games in, and then another 4 series are playing their second game tonight. So we've seen 12 games of playoff hockey. And naturally, we think to ourselves, man, how would the Vancouver Canucks do if they were playing in these playoffs? And a couple caveats, qualifiers we have to make, obviously. Let's presume that the Canucks are healthy. So it's Demko in net. You have Horvat, Pearson, and Höglander in the lineup. So let's presume the Vancouver Canucks are healthy, although I get it. Not every team right now is 100% healthy. So I get that, but for the purposes of our discussion. And then the second part is... no, that's the only part, actually. Let's just presume that the Canucks are healthy. And we know that the Canucks were 5 points. They finished with 92. I think Nashville finished with 97. And so the Canucks are 5 points out. So that's 2.5 wins, 3 wins, basically, or 2 wins and an extra time loss. So they weren't completely far out, but they weren't exactly super close either. It's not like they lost on the last night or even the second last game of the season. They knew in the middle of game 80, actually. At least they made it to game 80. But they knew at the end of game 80 that they were not going to make the playoffs. And I know there's the St. Louis Blues from 2018 or 2019, whenever it was, where they were like the last place team in the league in December. Then they fought their way up, and then they end up winning the Stanley Cup. I get that there are those types of stories too, but I actually think that those are obviously the exceptions as opposed to the rules. So with all those qualifiers out of the way, how do you think the Vancouver Canucks, as currently constructed, how would they be doing in these Stanley Cup playoffs? And if you look at the 4 series that are now through 2 games, 3 of them are 1-1, and only one of them is 2-0. And that's kind of what we expect. Carolina and Boston, Carolina's up 2-0, but that's been a nasty series. Already injuries and skirmishes and slashing and dirty plays. So I'm not sure. You look at that series in particular, as much as I hate Boston, I'm happy they're losing. I'm not sure if the Canucks would be able to keep up in that type of series. Then the other 3 that are 1-1, Edmonton destroys LA yesterday, and LA beat Edmonton in a close one on Monday night. So that's the series that Vancouver would have been in, quite frankly. If they caught the Kings, they would have been playing against Edmonton. So would Vancouver... I'd like to think they'd be 1-1 against Edmonton right now, truly. So I think that's a matchup that's not bad for Vancouver. Certainly have the edge in goaltending for sure, if not other parts of the lineup. Then the other series that are 2-0, one of them is 1-1. One of them is St. Louis, Minnesota. I think that would be a tough matchup for the Canucks. I think we saw how they struggle with Minnesota a little bit, even in St. Louis near the end of the season. Although we've had St. Louis's number, we had in the bubble. St. Louis is a bit more of a faster team now, and their size always gave the Canucks some trouble. So Minnesota has size and a lot of skill. So I'm not sure the Canucks would do it in that series. And then the other one that's 1-1 is Tampa-Toronto. 5-0 for Toronto in the first game, 5-3. So a lot of goals, a lot of offense. So that would be one that I would love to see Vancouver play in against either Toronto or against Tampa, because I think the games would be quite high scoring like they've been, with a lot of offense. But I do, I'd like to think the Canucks match up okay against Toronto. Now that I say that, I'm not sure if they do match up well against Toronto and Tampa Bay. But that's why I'm kind of asking you, is how would they do? Then you look at the 4 series that go tonight. Calgary, Dallas. I think Canucks can easily compete with Dallas. We beat them twice in the last 2 months. So against Calgary, not so much, although we beat them 7-1 back in November. So I think the Canucks might do okay in that series. I definitely think Colorado, Nashville, they beat Nashville, but they would struggle against Colorado. Colorado, the way they can light teams up, so scary. And then you have Florida against Washington. That was interesting. Washington won game number 1. Washington played a very defensive style, tried to stifle Florida. I don't know. That seems like, to me, that seems like a tough matchup for the Canucks against either of those two teams. And the final one is the Rangers and Pittsburgh. That one went to triple overtime, with Pittsburgh missing Tristan Jarry and Casey DeSmith for at least one more game. I like the way the Canucks match up against those, at least Pittsburgh. I'm not sure about the Rangers. Rangers seem to be a very fast team, whereas the Pittsburgh is more the veteran team. So tough to say. So overall, it's easy for us to say, oh man, if the Canucks win the playoffs, they would do so well, or all you need to do is get in. But realistically, how many of these series could they compete in? I think they could compete in the Edmonton-LA one. They can compete against the weaker teams of the Dallas and Nashville series. So, and then maybe Toronto-Tampa. But I don't think they could compete in the St. Louis-Minnesota one, quite frankly. I don't think they compete in the Florida-Washington one. And the Tampa-Toronto one might be tough, in Carolina-Boston. So I think for them, you could say that the Canucks could compete well in. For them would be really tough matchups, no matter who the opponent was. So just kind of some thoughts, because I think it's natural to watch these games and to think, oh, Demko would have made that save, or oh, Petey would have scored there, or Hughes would have walked the line and created a play there. But that's so easy to say. It's so easy to say, and it's easy for us to say because the Canucks simply are not in the playoffs right now. And speaking of playoffs, the Abbotsford Canucks got bounced yesterday. A crazy goal. Bakersfield scored with a minute and a bit left, but the guy who scored the goal basically cross-checked one of our guys in front of the net into Spencer Martin and then put the puck in the empty net. I'm not sure how the refs allow that to go in. I didn't hear the explanation, but I'm not sure how the refs allow that to go in at a point where, Abbotsford was on the brink of elimination, and surely they lost in 2 straight games. So even if I had plans to cover the Abbotsford Canucks playoff run in depth, it's done. And it's unfortunate, but I think it was, for all intents and purposes, a very successful first season for Abbotsford. All right, Canucks fans, so leave a comment. Let me know how you think the Canucks would do in these playoffs. And if you want to talk about which teams which series they may have matched up well against, I'm happy to read that as well. Shout out to my sponsors, Perform and Transform, personal training and weight loss. Sign up now for a free 7-day trial. Use the link in my video descriptions. The Van City Experts Real Estate Group. Contact Jason Lim and his team for all of your real estate needs. And I may be introducing a 3rd lead sponsor in the next week or so, but stay tuned for that. Also, to members, legendary Lucas Gates, legendary Justin Credible, legendary Andrew Chang, Hall of Fame members, Jens95, Sim Alexander, Chris Seifert, Adam Broomfield, Shannon Hollingworth, HSM Fangirl Gaming, Smooth Groove, and Carol Bovenlander. Thank you for your support as always, and thanks to the support of all members of all levels. You are listed in my video descriptions. If you want to become a member of the CCC Crew, press the join button underneath this or my videos, or the memberships tab on my YouTube channel. If you've made it this far, 9.5 minutes in, our secret code word is thanks. And I'm thanking you for your support. You don't necessarily have to thank me for doing these videos. And if you want to leave a tip or a thanks, I certainly won't object. So if you type the word thanks, then I know that you made it to the end of this video. And people that didn't will just wonder, well, why is everyone thanking Canuck Clay? Because the guy just didn't do anything aside from sit in his car and talk. But I'll leave that up to you. Okay, friends, subscribe if you'd like to, like this video if you'd like to, become a member or upgrade if you'd like to, and leave a comment down below if you'd like to. How do you think the Canucks would do in the 2022 Stanley Cup Playoffs? Let me know. I'd love to read your comments and do my best to read, react, and reply as always. Stay safe, stay healthy, take care of yourselves, and take care of each other. Have a great rest of the day. God bless, and go Canucks go.